I wrote in the chat, I said it's a studio on fire. He's looking for the extinguisher.
Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All that craziness for that. I mean, oh my God, I'm like freaking out at the last minute. I'm like, why won't this work? And it's like it just keeps crashing every time I like try and produce that little clip, that little 30-second clip. The fucking thing crashes. Oh my God! And hello everyone. Hello, how is everyone doing? Holy shit! Thank you so much for being here. Adega's like laughing his ass off because I'm scrambling to try and get, oh look, our avatars cover our faces. Holy shit, that's crazy. I'm trying to get this fucking the 30-second intro. It's a 30-second intro. And it just keeps crashing.
Oh, I warned you.
Oh my God. Hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know this was like I know this was I did not promote this like I should have. Oh my God. I apologize for that. I know that a lot of you did not know that we were doing this today. Me and Adega talked the other day and he was like, dude, if you can get 10 people to say yes, we want this in Discord, but all you can do is ask, hey, would you like to know more about Adega on like a interview?
We also had a 4-hour time limit and these clowns said yes.
Yeah, and like in less than 30 minutes too. Oh shit. He's like, it's never gonna happen. I'm like, oh yes it will. Dude, people love you.
This is his idea, man. I didn't want to do this.
Oh, people absolutely, and they want to know more about Adega. So, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Yeah, Loki sounds like a Valley girl. Like, oh my God, it was so scary. I was like, son of a bitch, it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. It keeps crashing. Where are my pastels?
All for that cool clip of music.
All for that cool clip of music. Yeah, it was just like last minute. We got 4 minutes. I can make a 30-second intro in less than 4 minutes. No, apparently I can't. It was like nope, and I tried it again. Nope, and I'm like, oh my God, it keeps crashing. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take 1 second out of the audio, and that fixed it. I don't know why. I have absolutely no idea why it fixed it, but hail starry-eyed girl, Purple Valkyrie, that 70s rock fan, Dow, good afternoon, Dee Dee Myers, Keely Chow, good afternoon, everybody. We are here to talk about one of the greatest authors of our time. And he can go bah all he wants to, ladies and gentlemen, but he is one of the greatest authors of our time. He fights the good fight. He doesn't bend the knee to woke bullshit. He writes what he wants to write, and I wanted you guys to get to know him a little bit more, and he is my friend Adega Outlaw.
Absolutely, friend. Absolutely. Yeah, that picture there behind our avatars was when my good friend Loki decided to pay a visit, and I took him to my favorite restaurant. We had a wonderful evening with he and special guest who took the picture. And I tell you what you hear on this channel is what you get in person. He is a straight shooter, and something you don't get on this channel that you get in person is his heart is far, far bigger than what you realize through his voice. It is an honor to meet someone like Loki, and even bigger honor to be his friend.
Thank you.
No, it's all true. I'm not lying to anybody. I don't lie.
It was an honor, and I was so glad I got to come down and hang out with you, and for a couple days, and get to know you even better than I did at the time. But we're not here to talk about me, damn it. And no, sorry,
you know I'm going to keep doing that.
You're not making Loki blush. No, no, we're going to talk about Adega, because I want people to get to know you as well as I've gotten to know you. And I know when we started talking about,
there's a lot of things I told you that I'm not going to tell them.
Oh, of course. Yeah, like that time in
down in Mexico. Yeah, no,
down in Mexico. No,
that 8 months in that prison. No,
that time in Barbados.
It was good, but not worth sharing.
That evening in Thailand. No, we're not gonna go into any of that. But I thought we'd get the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. And what brought Adega Outlaw to the party, man?
Depends on which party you wanted to talk about. And see, the problem I have with talking about things is just I've been blessed with having a ton of experiences in my life, and I always feel like I'm blowing it out my butt. You know, people think I'm making stuff up. So it just depends on what brought me here. I think if you want the honest truth, it has to deal with my mother. Not in the way that you think, because I was adopted, but I was 7 years old, and you know, everyone told me when I was a kid I was smart. You know, I made up little stories of things, and I never followed that through until I retired. But you know, I figured, you know, what the heck? I want something, a real challenge in life. And I said, Mom, what's the toughest job in the world? She goes, a brain surgeon. I said, all right, I'm going to be a brain surgeon. So, you know, I had no doubts. And my mom, she told me at that time, she goes, you know, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And she was right. You know, anything I wanted to do, if I put my mind to it, it was all there. Well, I changed my mind when I was 11, and I broke my back for the first time playing football. And a chiropractor fixed me up, and I said, nope, I'm not going to be a brain surgeon. I'm going to be a chiropractor. So that's what got me here in the more metaphysical, mental state, frame of mind.
So that's what makes Adega Outlaw Adega Outlaw. Is, you know, the hardest thing you can do is this. Well, I'm going to do it.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, if you don't do it, then it's an opportunity lost.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
Fear is something that, you know, and you hear that in Dune, and I had to kind of make a application. Then a lot of people said fear is the mind killer. And in my books, I put doubt kills, fear kills, and then something that social justice warriors did not like, and I won't get into details with it, but the end of that phrase is, and loose women make one sick. It's still in the book.
It's still in the book. Doubt can kill. It's why
it limits you. It's like putting on cement shoes. You know, fear, doubt. All it does is shut your brain off. You know, it shuts your opportunities off. It shuts your advancement off. Even if you have them, just plow through them. Just plow through them. If it takes you 40 years, 50 years, so what? You just plow through it.
No, I agree.
The only limitations that people have is the limitations they put on themselves. We have a friend of mine, I call her a dear friend, but, you know, we've never met. We've only chatted a little bit, but, you know, she wears her heart on her sleeve at sometimes is Dal. And that's someone who is partially blind, and you'll find no limits with her. Any of you who've heard her on some of these live chats, you know, it's whatever circumstance you're put in, you have the opportunity to either make it better, ignore everything and just waste your time, or make it worse. there is, and this is something I learned a long time ago, and some of you know about this, and I've been studying this again recently. It's what is it? The Ancient Masters of the Far. I'll have to look up the title, but it's basically a 200-year-old lectures that were done by a guy who went and studied the Far East monks that were there. And it's very fascinating because these people were almost like prophets, and I won't get into details, but they were far separated from what they preach about. And yet, being Buddhist monks, they said Christ was the way. And they justified a specific religion, which I will not tell you guys what it is, being completely separate, distinct. But these guys, they figured out, because the author said he watched them walk through fire. I mean, literal fire. They did amazing things, and his thing was that they kept telling him, it says, we don't know why you're so amazed. This is what humans are. We could all walk through fire. And they did recent studies with these, and like I said, some of you will know if there's a movie out years ago called Down the Rabbit Hole, What the Bleep Do We Know? And it can show you, but there's YouTube videos and things where if you take crystals, or not crystals, just ice, you want to form ice, you could put dirt or whatever you want in the water, and on the jar itself, you just write a label that says hate, and another one you put love, and another one, put different emotions. The crystals will form according to those emotions. And the ones that have love on it always make the most beautiful crystals. You put them under a microscope, and they're perfect lattice works in beautiful designs, and they filter out the impurities. Where the ones that have regret, hate, fear, they all stay muddied and come out terrible. And these monks were able to, just by the thought of making the world a better place, of having a love of humanity, are able to change their surroundings and their environment. Now, don't get me wrong, because I see things as two different ways, because, the whole reason we have fire in Valhalla is because of my bad attitude.
That's right. That's right. Anybody out there who doesn't know, the reason why we got all the fire in Valhalla and it's keep the fires burning bright and all that is because of Adega.
But there are two types of strengths that are, at least that I've figured out so far, that are absolute. And there is a strength of compassion, of loving your fellow man, regardless of circumstance, and being able to walk through the fire for even the worst of people. And there are those who choose to stand up for those who don't have a voice, the downtrodden, the ones who need a leader, a good leader, one who will take them into good paths, which are the harder ones to find, are both of those. And they tend to be the ones that are more aggressive, the firelighters. And I try and do both. It's kind of hard. I try and walk through both of those, to set an example of compassion. I mean, the stories that I've been through recently, some of the people that we've gotten to associate with, and how I react to drama. And I never burn bridges for anyone. But there's also times when you have to take a stand, like you talk about this morning, where there are people who are deliberately trying to hurt you. And there's a place where you can have the compassion and the acceptance, and there's a place where they've gone too far, where you can no longer allow the destruction of things that are good. And there's a place for everyone in that. That's, like I said, that's what Valhalla is about. That's what you set up. There was a border that existed where there was a good and a rotten, a nice and a bad. And the media and the entertainment started to go onto the rotten and degenerate, because they thrive off of that stuff, and they want to see other people mad and angry and suffer at the things that they're creating. And, like I said, your first video, it was, they had crossed the line. You had enough. You got up and you spoke. And that's one of those ones where It wasn't necessarily for you, although you felt it in yourself, but it was for a community where the combination, because we are all connected. That's another thing. Some of you heard me talk about this before. There actually has been proven that there's a connection, and some of you have heard me talk about this study before, but everyone has to keep it in their mind at all time because it's that important. They had two people, several different occasions where they had set them on opposite sides of the world, opposite sides of the whatever country that they were doing, and they isolated them completely from any type of electromagnet, any type of radio, any type of interference that would get into their mind. And on one end, they were recording both of their EEGs, their physical reactions. And one end, they would show a person a picture, series of pictures. Some are of flowers, kids playing, war scenes, aftermath of murders, you know, a wide range of emotional responses that you're going to get. And the other end of this study was a person who their only job was to think of the person looking at the pictures. And they found that the person who was thinking of the other one, thinking of the person who was seeing the stuff but wasn't seeing it themselves, would have the same emotional, physical response as the person who was watching the pictures, even though they're thousands of miles separate. And in some cases, they were having this physical reaction a fraction of a second before the person was actually shown, giving us two things. One, we are all connected. That's why I always say water seeks its own level. Like-minded people are attracted to each other. It's because we're all connected. And also, there is a precognition. Every one of us, if our minds are quiet, we take out our imaginations and just listen. There's an ability to sense things just before they happen or just as they really are. Humans are far more amazing than we give ourselves credit for. We get stuck in this day-to-day rat race, and now the rat race is rat race in our own little hovel because we're being told to stay indoors and to hide from humanity. And why would that be? Because, like I said, we are all connected, and they're trying to separate that connection, that strength, that peace that you get, because we are a herd community. Isolation hurts us, and we reach out. And again, that's another reason why we have so many people in this Valhalla, is because we're reaching out. We're finding a reverence to our own thoughts and hearts by joining with other people that feel the same way. Sorry, I'll get off the bandwagon for a sec.
No, you're right. You are absolutely right. And what you said about, what I am a firm believer in, if you are making something that's shit, I'm going to call you out on that. If you, on the other hand, are doing something that is good, that inspires people, that makes people, that gets people emotional, like what we just got in The Mandalorian, I am the first person that will clap my hands and praise the fact that you did something that just changed the game. But I will also call you out on the nasty shit you do. And that's pretty much what I do every day, is I call people out on the nasty shit they do, or I praise them for the good shit they do. It's not just one or the other. It is both.
I think that's where weakness can be exposed. And you're seeing my weaknesses because when people say things about me, and I've told you this before, I always considered myself a musician. Everything else is just, and a chiropractor. Everything else is just unbelievable to me. And when people criticize or tell me different things, I take it hard. But the same thing goes on the opposite end, where someone makes crap or promotes crap or has flaws in their personality and they do not accept, then that's their flaw. They are separating themselves from the potential good that can be created if they would change, if they would alter who they were and look for more beauty instead of keeping their head stuck in the mud or whatever makes the mud that smelly, rancid pit. Flowers grow out of mud. You have a hard life. You have terrible things happen. You have adversity. And when you plow through that, and sometimes you need help, sometimes you had a good community, but you plow through it to make things better, that's where the roses grow. They don't grow in anything but good soil, which is basically manure.
And guys, I will get to the super chats when we are at the end of this, just so you know. So you don't think I'm ignoring you or anything. We will get to them at the end of this. You mentioned music. Can you share some of that with us? What you mean by you were a musician? I know you've shared a lot of that with me. But
man, you want to make me cry, don't you?
You were good. You were really good. I know I don't want to make you cry. I just want to be able to share that with everyone. You were good. You were really, really good, weren't you?
I started playing in elementary school, whatever they call it in England. They're really young. And I played 1 year. And when I was finished with 1 year, it was saxophone. And I went to my instructor and said, yeah, I checked it out. I'm done. And it was another one, like one of those moments. I owe this guy an awful lot. He's long since passed. He says, no, I'm not accepting that. You got to keep doing this. You got a gift. And it kind of accelerated because that same year, a little later, my brother passed away. But I've never been one to back down from a challenge. And so I started studying really hard. And when I was 12, I noticed that I didn't sound as good as the pros. And I talked to my parents. I said, you know what, I'd like lessons. And when I was 14, my instructor fired me. He says, you are as good as the pros. You're 14. Go out and make some money. I cannot teach you anymore. I got hired for different things. But I had to give it up for family and for my profession. I sold my horns when I was in college. But it's one of those, when I gave it up, it was like losing your parents in one shot. I was that close to it. But it was something I had to do in order to move on and to do things. I helped more people being a chiropractor than I ever did with music. Though the wound still bleeds.
Is that one of those growing up things we have to do sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days you got to be brave enough to rip the Band-Aid off. But sometimes it's just still hurts. I don't know why, but it does.
Because
I identified as a saxophone player. My last job offer, some of you know this story too. Fresh out of high school, Carnival Cruise Lines wanted me to be their front lead saxophone on one of their ships to run their jazz band. There were some pros that had checked out and said, you know what, they got lead trumpets. Trumpets are usually the leads of these small jazz bands, but says your skills outdo them. You need to be the lead trumpet or the lead of the band with a saxophone. And Carnival said, yeah, we'll put you on the ship. You get to travel. You get to do this. And I started investigating and says, yeah, one of the things you get out in international waters, you basically become a whore to the ship. And if some lady says, I want you in my cabin at 8 o'clock, you got to go. Because I found out from one of the porters that happened to him where they said the same thing to him. And he was down in Cozumel, I think, is where the ship stopped. And they threw him off ship with his bags, had no money, had no ID, had no nothing. Said, you're not going to do your work. You're not going to ride the ship. All because he wouldn't sleep with somebody. I said, no, I'm not going to be an 18-year-old whore on some boat.
No, hell no.
And then what added salt to that injury is you get someone like Kenny G, who still cannot play, who makes lots of money, but I could shove my horn up my butt, I told you this before, and play out my back end and sound better than him. And people believe that that's a good saxophone. And all of us, to a person who knows saxophone, say that guy's a hack. And he was made to be an icon because of his long hair, and he played silly. No talent.
You know, I talked to Mexican Iron Man once about why we are so passionate about certain things. Some people make fun of those that are passionate about certain things. Like we just got Star Wars Theory in tears because of Luke Skywalker. I was in tears. Dave Bob was in tears. Lorena Creel was in tears. We were all emotional over the stuff, and it's because there is still that kid there. There is still that kid there. Some people get rid of that kid and they just have no imagination. They have no ambition for anything like that, and they think everybody else should be like that. And maybe that teenager that you were, that musician, is still there and still screaming, "Hey, I want to play."
Right. Well, I don't look at it as being a kid. A kid would be someone who is uneducated and doesn't have wisdom. That feeling, I would say, is a type of spark of divinity. To be all honest with you, what else was going to bring you to tears that isn't painful? It's something that's beautiful in the universe, in whatever form it's shaped, or whatever form or shape it takes. And when we are younger, we're far more connected to it than we are when we're older. Like I said, we get busy doing this and that and the other things, and we don't listen to that. And some people say it's an inner child, but it's not a child at all. It's an inner spark of divinity. I saw one of the super chats that said that star stuff. You know, we are not necessarily star stuff, although a lot of people will say that, but we are connected to it. There's that grand, when some call it the cosmic library of absolute truth that exists all around us. Some people call it the force, but we are all in touch with it. And that's how that communication across nations by two people is able to happen, because it exists. And when you have, some people say childlike, but I say it's more of a divine-like. When you have that ability to feel it, to learn from it, and to allow it to grow in you, then you are far, far better. And hopefully you allow it to be shared so you make other things better. Like I said, with the crystals of water, it can be purified just by pure emotion and thought. I mean, that's real. There's no charcoal filters and reverse osmosis involved. The human ability to do that is there. Yeah, it could be considered the essence of your soul. But it is, it's what makes us attracted to other people, not in the physical way, but in a way that is, they're putting up so many barriers to having bonds. Like if two guys were sitting down having a drink together, or just sitting on a pier together, just chatting things up, you know, the way the society's trying to tell you is that they're trying to say, well, these guys are lovers, but it's not. It's two guys just enjoying a moment. Has nothing to do with physical. It has to do with enjoying the company that connection to the universe builds.
I always hated the term bromance.
Right.
It's just two guys being brothers.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. There isn't.
Nothing wrong with any of it, but there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
100 years ago, women used to hold hands going down the street, or kids, no. And there was nothing wrong with that. It meant nothing sexual. All it meant was these people were close and were sharing an experience. They had like minds and ideals, and they were friends. And our society now keeps trying to push that away, to separate us, to divide us, whether it be through music or media or what have you. But there are good places. And like I said, it's like here where people can combine. And I know stories of people throughout our chat who've had difficulties or are having difficulties. And sometimes they feel so alone because of the pain. But they're not at all. You know, when you see these little hearts pop up, I believe those. You know, that there really is a compassion for others in this community. I really believe those.
There definitely is. And it's not about money. It's not about what you can get out of it. It's about actually caring for another human being more than you care about yourself sometimes.
Right. And there is truth to that. And Christianity, you know, says no man hath greater love than this, than he would give his life for his friends. But in a smaller sense, it's giving your emotions, your heart, your time, your ear, your honest opinion. And love shouldn't be confused with anything physical as opposed to something spiritual. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's all beautiful. I didn't mean this to get to a philosophy hour.
No. And Project Storytime says, one of my favorite moments of my life was standing on the porch of my best friend's house the night before his wedding. We barely said a word, but we had a connection that life would forever change.
Those are the beautiful moments.
My Bartleby, the guy you see here in the morning, kicked the living hell out of a brand new Corvette that was parked next to us as we were coming out of Slick Willie's pool hall the night before I got married. And I remember screaming at my other friends to pull him in the car, and we burned ass out of there. But he was pissed and I was shaking, but we got down the road, stopped at a red light, and all of us started laughing. It was just one of those moments that it was like, I should have been pissed. I could get arrested multiple times that night. I should have been arrested, but I should have been upset. I should have been pissed. No, it's just this bond that we all had and we all shared. And I still, I talk about sharing the brain with him. I got one half, he got the other half, and there's that bond there that can never be broken. Just because it's a dude doesn't mean it's not a bond.
Right. No, and that's it. And that's something that we need to, like I said, fear kills. And in the case of creating deep relationships with anyone, I'm not talking romantic, but the fear of allowing that to happen is a killer of all humanity to one small degree or another. 1,000 cuts, 1,000 separations, of breaking down the integrum that a unified humanity should be. And we should be accepting of all of that.
Yeah. And Psychodwarp 9 makes a good point. One of the scariest things is letting people in to see your best and your worst.
Yeah. But something that I've learned is that so what? If they could see you for who you are then you get to expose them on what they do with that information. Because if they are someone who will use it against you, then you already know that this is not someone who's going to build you up and build a relationship. But if they're going to see that and commiserate or help or enlighten in your worst moments or in your best moments, then that is the person that you need to be close to. So opening yourself up may be scary, but it is also a way to gain far more than what you lose, regardless of how dark those dark corners are. And I'm dead serious. You wanted to know who I am.
Yeah. Exactly.
I still think this is funny. He's been asking me to do this for a long time.
Oh, guys, this has been like 8 months in planning of. Come on, no. Oh, come on, no. Come on, no. Nobody will ever want to see it.
So I'm watching this chat go by, these hearts, and I consider you being a brother or a sister. You know, I had this special moment here. I had that special moment there. That is everyone working together on the same type of emotional level. All of you are feeling it. And this is something that could spread if we keep focusing on these things. Doesn't mean, like I said before, that we don't point out what is wrong. Because if we can't see what is wrong, we can't fix it. No, if we can't stand up for what is right, then no one will. So enjoy these moments. Make them happen more regularly. So what else?
What got you on here? What got you talking about all of this on YouTube? What got you, I mean, how did that start?
It was actually kind of silly. It was a gradual thing. Years ago, I was playing a game, you guys know it, The Old Republic.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic. Well, it was the online one, SOTOR. And I had a bunch of friends. I still have them as friends. You know, like-minded community to build together. One of them's here in the neighborhood. One of them moved off to Florida. You know, just there's people around that I still know, still keep in contact with. Even people from beyond that. When I worked with the Disney Pirates of the Caribbean, I was really well known back then. They used to, I don't know if they've killed it because of COVID, but there was the Pirates League. And you go to Disney and you can sign up and you can go out with your kids and do all these things. That was my idea. Disney got that from me. But when I was doing SOTOR, they had these space missions that you flew solo. You'd go through like asteroid fields and taking out targets and doing things. And I didn't have a problem with them, even the more difficult ones. And people were just pissing and whining that they couldn't do it. And finally, my friend, he says, why don't you show me how to do it? And I said, I have no way to do it. He says, here's the program. Go get Fraps, record what you do, and then post it on YouTube and we can watch. That was my first YouTube video. It was Star Wars. They're still up. I didn't take them down. Where you can watch the space missions, right? Flew through those. And
I used to do that too. I did it on Star Wars, but I used to do a lot more on the Star Trek online.
Yeah,
back in the day, because I had a fleet, SSO fleet, and we would run through missions that you were not supposed to be able to run through, and we could do it with like 2 people, and there were groups that couldn't do it with 5.
Right.
And it was like, okay, I'll go goaltend over here, you go goaltend over there.
Right.
And then as this happens, we meet in the middle and kill everything. And
you run the engineers with all the different turrets everywhere.
Yes. Yep. From the engineering build, it was a min-max build, and basically every time you got hit, you became stronger.
Yep.
And your rotation was about these cards. And if you had these cards, every time you procced, the cooldown got shorter.
Yep.
So you could constantly stay in this invincible mode, and every time you got damaged, you became more powerful.
Yep.
So it was one of these things that we figured out that we're like, no, we can annihilate all of this easily with 2 people. Where people couldn't do the elite runs with 5, we could do them with 2.
Yeah, we used to do that too. I was with a group, it was Ryza. I worked on the beta with that. I have a lifetime account on it still. I haven't been on it in years.
Yeah, so do I.
And then, yeah, we would do the same thing. But, you know, I like I said, I made those videos, and then I can't remember what it was the next in line, but things started changing in my life. You guys know about it. So I started writing, and I wanted to hear what it sounded like. And I made some crappy videos with images for myself. Really, it was for myself and, you know, my brother, whoever wanted to, you know, I got a couple of sisters and brothers, and, you know, if they wanted to check them out, they could see what I was doing. And gradually I said, you know, that looks horrible. I'm going to fix that. That sounds horrible. I'm going to fix that. And then finally the book was finished, and one of my friends and my brother says, all right, now you need to publish it. And I said, it's not worth publishing. And they said, yeah, it is. And so the rest of you guys know. But that was how I got into YouTube. How I got into here, I had been a lurker on many channels. I was at Doomcox when he was 20,000. No one knows. I was there with Gary when he was at. I was with Geeks and Gamers, and I just never bothered chatting, you know. And then I saw, wow, Loki's a cool name. What he doing? And I think it was your second video. I was here, and I just hung out for a while. And I can't remember what it was. Maybe I set fire in there, and you noticed, and we started talking after that. But I can't remember. Unimportant. The end result to me is what matters. I have a bunch of friends out there, and I am friend to all of you, whether you like it or not.
And Dal Cecil says, I found Adega thanks to Alan and his music.
Yeah, Alan's a master. Yeah. No, I was making these videos. The very first video, someone warned me, says, yeah, you can't get copyright music. You got to use something else. I went and looked for non-copyright music, and then I found some of his stuff, and I chatted with him because he didn't have a lot of follow, not like he does now. I said, you don't mind me using your stuff? And he said, no, I just put my name in it. And then he started following my stuff, and he's going, dude, this is really good. And I said, no, your stuff is really good, and we've been patting ourselves on the back ever since, you know. I come up with something, and I said, here, I'll send it to him. And I said, what do you think? And he's quiet for like 4 or 5 days. And all of a sudden, the song comes on and goes, here, what do you think? And they match. And I'm just going, Jiminy Cripe. Or he'll send me a song, and I'm going, how the heck are you reading my mind? I was writing this, you know. It's funny how it works. He's an awesome guy. He's about my age. And just, he's a quiet, very kind guy. And his music is amazing. But, you know, he's a child of the 80s too. We listened to the same music when we were kids. You would know probably they used to call it New Romantic. You were probably 8 years old when it was out, maybe younger. And then some of the early techno, like Depeche Mode and stuff. We in Joy Division. There's a lot in the Cult, a lot of these in the Cure, and these different groups where we were very similar backgrounds, except he knows more of the English stuff, which I had to import when I was a kid, going to, you know, Tower Records and buying these imports, saying, I have no idea what this is, but it's from England and I'm going to try it out. And it was like, man, this is awesome. Had no clue what it was, but I started spinning the thing and I go, this is great, you know, and found out all kinds of different, like blamage, and, you know, it was just like mind. And somehow there's that, you know, like I said, the connection exists between people. It doesn't matter distance or time. And we kind of got this artistic connection. It's very weird. I enjoy it though.
Yeah. I have that same relationship with Coach over at Echo Base. For those of you who don't know, Coach does a lot of the video stuff, the video editing and all that. And that's what I do. And he has helped me with intros. He is partially responsible for probably half the intros I've ever done. He's had something to do with it. Whether that was like a clip, he'll send me clips sometimes. He'll send me full intros, and I'll cut them up and throw them in with mine. And we've just kind of gone back and forth throughout the last year, helping each other with stuff. Anytime Coach and Nick have ever needed anything, I've been there for them. Anytime I've never needed anything, they've been there for me. And so is Adega. Me and Adega have thrown back and forth ideas for all kinds of stuff. When we started doing the history stuff, I absolutely love that. But then we got into the story thing, and I'm like, man, this is so much fun. I love doing this.
I love those stories that you pull up. That's the thing about writing too. There are good writers and bad writers. Writers, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, and even if you hate the stuff, you go to a library, you go to a bookstore, and we'll get back to that. Don't worry. We will all get back to it. It's all going to open up. All this difficulty and horrible things that you see, it cannot defeat the human spirit. So don't be discouraged. Never be discouraged. You may be disappointed, but don't be discouraged. But I used to go to Barnes & Noble by myself, and I'd come in the entryway, and I'd just stand there and look, and there's thousands of books and thousands of minds expressing what they know or what they imagine, whether you like it or not. That is humanity sitting there, and it just floods out, and you pull these stories out of these different places and these different minds that come up with these different imaginations. And even you did the Doom story for the game, and someone thought that up. Someone's mind went there into places where I had never been and I had never seen before. And yet when you read it, my mind caught hold of that thread and was pulled into a universe that I had never imagined. And now I'm bigger for it.
Yeah.
And even, like I said, even the stuff that you don't like, your mind has been exposed to new things and new places and new ideas. And maybe you have to reject those ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at least you're not closed to the opportunity. You're not closed to something new, but you're open and you're able to analyze and find the good and accept the good and reject the bad. But no, that's what's fun about Thursdays, And granted, I'm exposing people to what's really going on in the world. I've been of lately showing that, our powers that be are some of them are a lot brighter and brilliant, and some of them, what I've been exposing, are a lot darker and scary than what people have ever imagined. I haven't gone into royalty of the Scandinavian royalty or British royalty. I haven't gone into Disney, some of the really sick, dark corners. I have talked with people who have been exposed to certain things that are absolutely horrific. And you guys know that I had Secret Service connections of people who know things that really, really should be exposed to the world that haven't been. And some of it's quite terrifying. But if you run around with your ears plugged, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, then you're just a dumb monkey sitting on a post. You got to be open for everything. And like I said, the wise, the hopeful, the brilliant, and those that have a heart that can accept it are the ones who will accept what is good and change what's in them that is bad or imperfect as best as they can, and try and share that with everybody else. Again, going back to the library, there it is. People trying to share.
Yeah. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about getting to do what I do is a lot of this stuff helped me. Star Wars helped me. Star Trek helped me. And I hear from people all the time, Doctor Who pulled them out of a bad place. Star Trek helped them out of a depression. There's a story that I love getting to hear about James Doohan and how he got this letter from this girl that was talking about ending her own life, and he sent her an invitation to come to a convention, and he met her there, and he talked to her, and they spent time together, and she followed him around for like 2 years, from convention to convention to convention. Every convention they had where he was there, she would go and meet up with him, and they would hang out and they would talk, and eventually she stopped coming, and he got worried about her, and he tried reaching out, and she finally got in touch with him and was like, yeah, I got my life straight. I got everything straightened out. I got married. I've got children. This person changed this woman's life just listening.
Right.
And all because of Star Trek. All because of something that we all share a love for.
Right.
Whether it's Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek. And to see what they do, and to feel that.
Yeah, that's why I've taken a break from Star Trek is just because I know that it is now in the hands of people who are, there are some people that enjoy the dark side, you know, and that's pretty much what it is. And I have what's in my head from the good times sharing, and I'm similar to you. I sat down with my dad, but my mom was a Trekkie as well, and watched the original series and enjoy all those things in the movies. I remember going to the movies to watch Star Wars for the first time, 9 years old, and second or third time seeing it, my dad would take somebody new, and when the little eyeball popped out of the trash compactor, he knew exactly when it was going to pop, and he would jar someone who'd never seen it before to make them squeal in the theater. All those little things were beautiful, but when it starts to change, and I leave that up for people who want to investigate it. I trust your opinions on it, and I have got other things to do to try and make the most of my time and what I'm doing. And there's nothing wrong with either way about it. I'm waiting for, and it's like you said I think it was this morning, that there will be a day when that torch gets passed on to someone who actually knows how to light the fire again.
Yeah. And I believe that's what's happening with some of it. I don't believe it's what's happening with most of it, but you've done something unique. You have created an entire universe that is springing from your work.
Well, I like it anyway.
I mean, you're not the only one.
Well, you guys haven't seen the whole. I mean, Samantha, she's got the whole thing, but
and she's on notice. You say nothing to me about anything. I'm like, I don't want spoilers. I never watched the YouTube clips. I never watched any of that. So I'm like,
the only thing is that you see the group of people that I put in there, but they're involved in one simple set of circumstances, about finding out what the heck is really going on with this breakaway civilization. But it explodes into a multi-galactic story. It becomes absolutely huge, spanning millions of years. It all gets tied in because it's all part of one story. I just pulled out one little bit and started there, where I could have started with the children of the directive, but I didn't. That one sat on the back of my brain for a while. I finally got it out, but yeah, it's a massive, massive thing. But it's fun to do, and I'm just glad people like it.
They love it, and that I understand. That's hard to be like, okay, I believe you.
Did Samantha Joe like it?
Oh, I have no idea. She's barred from talking to me about it. She knows. You open your mouth and you tell me anything about Adega's books, I will never speak to you again, ever. No spoilers. I'm buying the books as they come out because I want to read them as they come out. So,
yeah. And then the Blood Witch is all based off of, and people know this too, it was one of those times where Alan from co.ag, he did this song. He put it on there and it had a woman's voice. She just said a few lines, and it's called A Strange Kind of Love. And in it, the woman, you should look it up. It's a really dark, cool song. And she goes, I've always been fascinated by death. The sound of it, the smell of it, and the stillness. And the song goes on and it's broken up and she says it in such a profound way. It's just amazing. And this thing hit me where I wrote the short. It actually became the prologue to The Blood Witch. And then he heard that and then he wrote Vampires from the New World based off of what I wrote. And then the whole book came out. And then he's got dozens of songs that were based off of it. And like I said, we feed each other back and forth. And now I'm, going through the history of when before the Blood Witch started, how everything came about at the very beginning. And that one I'll give you spoilers. It's basically, you hear a witch, it's not a witch. You think of vampire, it's not a vampire, but kind of. This universe, I try to do everything unique in all of my stuff. For the, there's some things where you kind of overlap a little bit, but this is basically a story. The first one it should be coming out next month. About a girl who her genetics go back to an original curse between a mage and two mages actually, and a good king. And the posterity were changed. They were altered. Any of them because it was a red-headed genetic thing, and yes, I like redheads. My wife hides it, but she's got red too. But their genetics were changed so that when they would, it's kind of like a Midas thing. When they would touch blood with their hands or their face, it would turn to gold. And the family learned to hide it so they weren't abused or tortured or what have you for their gift. But they decided to use it for good as well. They were extremely wealthy, as you can imagine, but they were also very helpful, and they kept it a secret. And there's a reason why, and the story that I'm writing now explains more of the secret of why they went into hiding about things. But the family didn't know the full extent of the curse. It was hidden 800 years in the past. And this girl finds out exactly what it means to be a blood witch, the power that it brings, not just turning gold, but she's basically stronger than any of the mages on the planet. And there's 3 different types of mages. There's what I call a nature caller, which deals with nature. They change earthquakes, lightning, water, wind, motion of things. There is the healers, which is the most rare. They're the ones whose hearts are so set on helping other people that they can heal them or heal lands or reverse aging. They're incredible, but they're very, very rare. And the mages only show up every 200 years and only when they're born on a special time. So there's only a handful, 5 at most, at any given time every 200 years. And then there's the Death Wind, who that type of magic is completely based on enjoying the suffering of others, of killing, of mass murder. They are the most powerful of the mages. Unreal abilities. They can shield themselves. They can sense life so they could snuff it out. And there's only one way to beat one. It's a blood witch. And that's what that story's about.
Project Storytime. This sounds great. People want it.
Well, that's the publisher wants it too.
Oh yeah.
Got a glimpse of it and said, "Nah, you're working with me. You need to abandon this other company that you're checking out." And I said, "Okay."
You were telling me about all that too, guys. I had to keep a lot of secrets for Adega. Adega was like, "All right, I'm gonna tell you this, but you can't tell anybody." I'll tell you this, but you got to keep your mouth shut about it. Okay. Can't talk about it on the channel. All right. Don't talk about it with anybody. Okay.
I just saw Mountain. I enjoying your chat. Trust me, I'm reading it. But Mountains of Elysium, enjoying suffering of others sounds like the writers of Discovery. That is not only funny, but I believe it is also true.
Yeah.
Which makes it sad all in one. There's so many emotions that come out of that. And Elysium's a brilliant man, and I love him to death, and I love his channel. And you guys should, he's a big Babylon 5 fan like I am. So check out his stuff because he's got a cool accent from England, or I don't know all your accents. Sounds half Scottish, half British. I can't tell, but I love his voice and I love what he does. And he plugs along like I did. You're not looking for attention. You just throw a few things out here and there. And that was wise what he just said.
On Mexican Iron Man, 2 great men, 2 great minds, 2 great souls, 1 great show, 1 awesome community. Hail Valhalla, hail the great Adega, though he is an outlaw and a huckleberry. I will be getting to super chats after this as a thank you. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. I know.
Yeah, thank you, my friend.
Big fan of Adega. He gives him hell. He gives Adega hell, and Adega gives him hell right back. Do not ever think he doesn't. But yeah, I never thought I would be surrounded with so people that are so talented. Mexican Iron Man, you, Kai, the guys over at Echo Base Network, Coach and Nick. Bird of Prey told me once, he said, Loki's got this thing where he said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this network. And I never thought about it. I guess I never thought about it like that, but he's right. And he said he actually did it. He didn't just say he was going to do it. He actually did it. And I was like, well, he's kind of right. We're all here for each other.
Yeah, and why people don't do it, again, is like it's that little bit of fear. So what if, and like I said, Elysium, he's got 60 people. I went years with only like 10 or 12, but I kept doing it because I enjoyed it. My voice got out there. My family saw it here and there, and it doesn't matter. But eventually, that energy that you put out will start dragging in like-minded people. Like Iron Man, like Echo Base Network, like Steven Seagal, even though the guy is a riot. And the Valkyries, just people who are, in the lack of a better phrase, spiritually connected. And not a loose connection, but there's a bond there. And it would take serious trauma, emotional trauma, to break it. And that's one of those things that I work hard on, is to make sure that bond, whoever I call a friend, it doesn't matter what they do, how far off the deep end they go, I don't break it on my end. And if anyone ever wants to come back and grab hold of that rope, it's still there.
I couldn't imagine someone doing that.
Oh, you already know it's happened.
I know, but I still can't imagine it. I still can't imagine. Now, I'm not going to bring that person up, but I can't imagine it. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's that kid again that I was.
It's a protective mechanism. You're protecting yourself. And you're being protective of others because, man, holy moly, don't ever get on Loki's bad side.
Oh, wow. But you know what? I don't want this to end our friendship, or I don't want this to do that. I'm like, well, the only way you could do that was to seriously tear someone down. I get people can get mad at all kinds of people. I've had people mad at me. I don't take it personally, but what I do take personally is when you go to tear up someone I actually give a shit about, like Adega or Mexican Iron Man or the Valkyries. When you go to tear up people like that, you just do it to be whatever. You do it for gain, or it's personal gain, or you just are that big of a douche. That bothers me. That bothers me more than anything. And probably that's the only way to get on my bad side, is to tear someone apart for some stupid reason.
Well, see, that's why you get on your rants in the mornings too, is because people are doing dumb things for stupid reasons, and they're doing it on purpose. They're not just that stupid. They may be blind because all they see is the idiots that are around them and the dumb people on Twitter. But they know what they're doing. In their hearts, they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That Star Trek group I was talking about earlier got finger pointed at me and got called an ist and a phobe and a Yahtzee. Me, of all people. I don't care what skin color you have. I don't care where you're from. I don't give a shit what language you speak. I certainly don't care about who you have sex with. All that matters to me is, are you a good person or are you a dick? So if people want to act like dicks and they want to run their mouths, or they want to destroy something that people love just to destroy it, well,
yeah. This is where I get into difficulties, even with some of my family members. Not that they have a problem. That's not what I mean by this, but you've all seen those stories where people eventually take, and this is for a different context. I'm not talking politics, but they'll take the red pill and they find out where they were, what they are, and they are brave enough to take that pill, to swallow it in its bitterness. And something hits them. It's that inner self again, that spark, and they feel the connection for the first time sometimes, or something that they forgot, or something they were beat out of when they were tiny children and never had a chance to expose. But there it is. They feel it and then grab onto it. You know, so as horrible as a lot of people are, there's still, for most of them, there's still that in there. And as disappointed as we can be in some of the things that they do or say, and sometimes even flat out angry at the things that they do or say, I am one of the ones who, my wife says I have a fault at it, but I am one of the ones who will never shut the door, even on them. I've had friends in the past who were absolutely horrible to me, teenage years, different things. And it was something I learned early on. And I tried to be kind, never said a bad word or anything. And they turned out to be good friends. I can call them up today and they do anything for me. And yet it started off as something that was really dark. You know, so I always try to hold out hope, because that, like I said, Valhalla, we talked about it early on it's been over an hour, about that connection that we feel together. And if you could add to it, how much better are we? You know, instead of, you know, we put up barriers to protect ourselves, but there should always be a door. Should always be a door. You never know who's going to come through. When the dust all settles, you never know who's going to come through that door and want to be part of it. And maybe it's a short stay, maybe it's not, but at least you enjoy that short stay.
Yeah. Can something like this function? You're goddamn right it can. Do you know how many different politics people have in Valhalla? You know how many different views people have, and yet we're all united in the fact that we can hang out and talk about this stuff, talk about Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, talk about how we feel, talk about the damn shit that's going on in the world, and we're not at each other's throats.
Right.
That's what these bitches promised everyone, and they're not giving it to them. Right. They're segregating, they are removing, they are lying. I remember the first time someone said, you sound like an SJW. And I was like, what do you mean I sound like an SJ? And they said what a social justice warrior is. And I was like, well, shit, I believe in that. And they go, no, but they don't. And I'm like, what do you mean they don't? Well, they don't. They say they want this, but they don't want that. They want it to be segregation, and they want to do this on the other end of it. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Who wants to do that? Well, they're trying to say that this is what they're like when really they want this. And I was like, well, no, fuck that. No. This is all the stupidest shit over the last couple of years because they want to lie to you. They want to convince you that, oh, well, we're doing this for this reason. No, they're doing it to herd you into groups that we got rid of 30 fucking years ago in the 90s.
We didn't have it in the 80s.
Who would have imagined, Adega, that censorship would be like a pro thing now?
Right.
Considering that in the 80s and the 90s, everything was going against censorship. Right. You should have the freedom of speech. You should have the freedom of expression. Why are you trying to say you can't do this in this type of art when you can do this and that type of art? And we fought for all that shit. And now we're fighting to put censorship on things and to make people shut their mouths. It's the exact opposite of what we fought for.
It'll work out. Always does. Like I said, fear kills. And there's too much good energy that they're trying to suppress because they don't know any better or because they're flat out evil, but it won't conquer. It will be conquered. We will overcome it.
In Sagadorf, not a rare flower called respect.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not rare here. That's why I like that phrase. Glory is fleeting, except in Valhalla. You know, when you have this kind of emotion and bond and connection, how can it fleet or fail? You know, the only way it will is if people decide to turn their backs on each other.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening. Not with us.
No. No, neither do I. And I've said this for a long time. You guys aren't just my friends, you are family. Adega is my brother. Chris Persia is my brother. Starry Eyed Girl is my sister. Dee Dee Myers is my brother. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. He's my Roll Tide brother. We all have different opinions, though, too.
Nothing wrong with that.
On some things we disagree on, and that, yeah, exactly. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
People come at things from different angles and different perspectives and different life experiences, and will see things differently. And to them, it's right. To you, it may not be right. The truth is somewhere in between. The bigger person is the one who's open enough to listen to both, or many, or to go, like I said, into that library and look at all that's been written and understand that these are people, they're ideas, and most of it beauty in the universe. Oh, there's Darth Haster. He needs a big applause too. He had a big accomplishment recently, and I can't tell you how tickled I am that he got that job. He mentioned it in chat this morning. I just started grinning from ear to ear, going, "Holy cats, that's so awesome!" I am very happy for him because I know what he's going through. You know, not just the feelings that he's having, but it's. His mind is now going to be able to be shared with everybody in a way that he never had before. And that is absolutely awesome.
I guess that level of respect, that's what they preach, but it's not what they actually do. And I think if we've accomplished anything in Valhalla, it's shown that people do care. People care about the people around them. People care about what people are doing. I love your writing. If I could go on every channel on YouTube and be like, hey, you guys need to check out Adega's book, Evolution, I would. I'd make it a mission to do just that, because it's good and it's something new in an age where no one wants to take a chance on something new. They just want to burn through what somebody else has did, so no one can point a finger at them and say you failed. There's no honor in that. There's no fight in that. You have fought for your work. You have fought to get your book out there. You fought editors.
Well, there's things that people should not know. But I appreciate that. The thing is, and this is, my writing isn't because I wanted to create a new universe or because I had an idea in my head. It was because there was things that I have learned and people that I've known who haven't had a voice, haven't been able to be voiced. And if you read it and you think of it for not just to be entertained in the story that you write along, but you look at it for the big picture of what is actually being said. You know, why do they react this way? Hey, Conan's going to have to keep the sword away for a little bit. Sorry. But it's, I am writing philosophy in a story. And if some people see it, great. If they're just entertained, great. Multiple levels I've tried to write in so that somebody will get something out of it. And once you see everything I wrote, then you'll know who I am. It's all there. And I did this one last week, and it was planned out. I was going to do it, but it became much more poignant with the way things have occurred in the past couple of weeks. My last Sunday's post, if you listen to the dialogue, especially at the first part, with the father-son exchange, those are real emotions and real people and real ideas and real truth. And I'm just, some people say, oh, that's kind of a cool part of the story. But it should be, if someone wanted to apply it, very much applicable to try and encourage, give hope.
Mountains of Elysium says, Adega is a good man. If you haven't subscribed to him already, you should now. Good author, good YouTuber, good friend. Great brother.
I said some things about him earlier, and I can't overstate how great of a guy he is. I'm glad he's here too. There's a lot of good people that should be here that aren't, for one reason or another. But still, the people that are here, thank you. And I know it's not my channel. I know it's not my voice every morning.
It is.
It is. I know you say that, but it's the energy that is ours.
Yes.
It's the motion. It's the mindset, the belief system that there is a right and a wrong. There is a good way and a bad way. And that we join together to enjoy the good and to point out what isn't good and seek out more better things. I've said this several times already. I'm starting to repeat myself. Sorry.
No. And I wanted to show this because it's what's right behind us. Yes, that is me on the left. And yes, that is Adega on the right. I wanted to do this from the beginning because Adega is a huge part of that energy every morning that you guys get from me. He has inspired me to do better, to go to higher levels. He has been an outstanding friend. And he is my brother. And getting the chance to go and see him, getting the chance to spend time with him, to sit down and have a hamburger.
You see that restaurant? It's a 5-star restaurant. It doesn't cost 5-star, but it's a 5-star restaurant. We sit down, all kinds of wonderful food. His guest, she got some nice stuff. And I was excited to see the things that she enjoyed because I enjoyed the same things. And that clown sitting next to me ordered a burnt burger.
Burnt buffalo burger with with mozzarella cheese and extra bacon. And
I could say that. You are a brother. You really are.
We got to sit there and talk and have a good time and enjoy our food and just chill and talk. And that's what we as human beings do. You know, the end of Discovery, I think the reason why so many people threw a fit about it is because they used Gene's words, but that is true. That is true. Getting, as human beings, connecting with someone and talking to them and sharing a conversation and having that moment is Lady Miss Loki.
His skin really does look like that, though. I tried to give him some moisturizer, but he wouldn't take it.
No. I wouldn't. Loki's burnt burger, yeah, questionable choice. Yeah, well, I like it.
You know what? That's the thing. Right. Everybody has their preferences, and he likes the charred meat and no vegetables.
No vegetables. I like roasted vegetables. I just don't like raw vegetables. I will have you burn the shit out of them, roast them on like an open fire, like, you know, some chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Roast some vegetables on an open fire. I will eat the hell out of them. Raw, no, I'm just not that. I cook it. I'm a meat eater. Damn it. T-Rex. I'm a carnivore. Burn it, cook it. It's just not raw and riddling. I am not like that. I do not like raw and wiggling, however you want to say it. Hashtag eat a vegetable.
Raw and wiggling.
Hashtag eat a vegetable from Purple Valkyrie.
She's right.
Being born in the wrong era.
Yep, she's right.
That's just me. And but yeah, I'll eat a vegetable. Just cook it. Cook the damn thing first, and throw some seasoning on it
with beef gravy on it.
Yeah, with something. Shit. You need your fire. I do. I get plenty. Trust me. I drink protein shakes and all kinds of shit during the day. I get plenty. And PJ's
here,
brother. Thank you so much.
That's another one of these like-minded people in the community, and I owe him so much simply because my world has been expanded so far because he allowed me to join them every Monday with Joe Mazzoli.
Yeah.
I get so much out of that, far more than he would ever know. It is a blast.
I got to sit in on one of those, and Adega jumped in there and goes, "Oh no, you're here!" I'm like, "Oh yeah," and it's like, "Are we ready to burn this son of a bitch down or what?" And BJ's sitting there like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, we behaved ourselves.
We did. But I loved it. I loved getting to do that. I love the opportunity, and you know what? That's the wonderful thing about getting to do this is getting to hang out with people like PJ, getting to hang out with people like Darth Haster, clobbering times. I get to do a show tonight with 24/7 Fusion Media, clobbering times, Fat Steven Seagal, Heiress of Chaos, Mexican Iron Man. I get to hang out with all those people for a couple hours and talk about comic books.
Right.
I get to talk about comic books. This is what I get to do. And I couldn't ask for better people to do it with.
Here's something that I find that is really fun too. And only 4 people, sometimes 5 people show up. It's late at night for me. I have either been writing or doing something else. And I get on YouTube and there's Darth Haster playing his game. And I get on there and just watch and listen to him chat. And I'll throw in something here and there. And I get a big kick out of that. And it's just a couple of guys and Lady Mist in there, keeping us in line. It's just, that's simple things, but it's a good community all the way around.
Yeah, Wes Moody. I am so guilty because Wes knows. Wes is like, be like, Loki, are you out there? I'm like, what's going on? He's like, he's so quiet. He never said anything. Yes, I lurk in game streams. I will lurk while I'm working at night, while I'm working on an intro, while I'm doing something. It'll be the middle of the night, and I'll be listening to Wes Moody play a damn Mega Man game or play something. He was playing Doom the same time I was playing Doom for a while, and I would just sit there and listen and get to hang out. I know exactly what you mean. Haster
Right.
too. I've popped in Haster's game streams before, and it's yeah, and you just chill and get to hang out.
A lot of people just showed up. Hello to everyone. I personally say hi to each and every one of you.
God, that yes, and PJ,
Yep.
the Kirk Spock moment on PJ's stream, because it was. I mean, they had the music. Dun, 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 dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun. You said it, Picard should fucking die. No, I didn't. Well, someone on this panel did. Well, it wasn't me. Oh man. Man, Pat, it was Patrick Stewart, not Picard. It was Patrick Stewart. You know, you said Patrick Stewart. Yeah, no, I didn't. Well, somebody did. Well, it wasn't me. Oh my God.
But see, that's another thing. We do have different opinions in the community, and yet when the dust all settles, still connected.
God.
That was funny.
Oh man. And you know what? Me and Canuck are like the best of friends. I didn't know what it was going to be like after that, but we are still the best of friends. We will always be the best of friends. We just argued about a show. That's it.
Right. Right. Vocally. At each other's throats.
Yes, at each other's throats. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we will. I know we will. When it comes to Picard, it's going to happen. Eventually, he's going to be like, I thought this was great. And I'm going to be like, I thought it sucked. And that's just, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. There will be a part 2 of that. Hopefully, it'll be on PJ's channel. If we go on PJ's channel and talk Picard, hopefully, it'll be on there.
We'll put purple on her throne. We'll have someone bang the gong. You'll both have nets and those Vulcan weapons.
Lurpas.
Go at it.
Lurpas,
yep.
Yeah.
Do it. Go for it.
Oh my God. And I had fun doing the Among Us streams too, Mary. I really did. I absolutely did. Is there any words of wisdom you'd like to give everybody before we get off of here? Anything you tell anybody to maybe open their eyes a little more or brighten their day?
No, it's like we started off with, and I think that's the key to everything. You always have to have your heart and mind open. Do not reject what is something that scares you simply because you don't understand it. You reject what is evil. You reject what is wrong. But you do not reject people or their opinions, because sometimes there's a glimmer of truth in there. There's a reason why there's so many different religions on the planet, because there are truths in all of them. Granted, almost all of them will have a lot of errors and falsehoods in it as well. But people resonate with the truth. And if you don't block yourself off to it simply because of the source, whether it be written, spoken, then you can grow from it. Fear is what's going to prevent you from being better. Fear is what's going to prevent you from helping other people. Doubt kills, fear kills.
Yeah.
And loose women make one sick.
Lady Miss says for Adega, throws out a whole bunch of flowers and says, you are awesome and so happy to know you. And you know what's awesome, what we're going to do here today. Pick a charity and I will send everything we made. I'll cover whatever YouTube takes, and we'll send it to that charity for today.
We'll go with Mary's.
Okay.
A lot of you know I have a special needs son. He's 23, and we're in the process of selling my home. We have to move to another state where he is going to get some absolutely wonderful care, because I'm getting to the point where I can't care for him anymore, and my wife can't do it on her own. And when people take care of these kids in a actual charity that does what they say, not take 90% for executive fees and send 10% off to something, I'm all for that. And it's rare to find one that actually does what they say. And I will be happy to suggest them.
Okay.
And you guys don't realize, Lady Miss lurks around a lot of places. I used to call her the sleepless one because I'd be up at different hours, and I know she's on the West Coast, and she's always awake and supporting other people. She's always doing. They must not sleep in the void. But she has said some really nice things about the stuff that I've done. And for a short time, I opened it up just for her, so she got to see everything when she was having a rough time. And it's nothing on me, but it's what we do as a group. Is when someone is suffering, you do what you can to help them out, and make their life better, because in the process, even if you don't tell anyone, because I'd never told anybody anything about this, you make it better for yourself. It's weird. It reciprocates. It's almost immediate that you do something for someone else, and especially when you do it without any fanfare or without any self-recognition or publicity. If you can do it that way, then you gain an immense amount of strength that you wouldn't gain any other way at all. And you see that little drawing that she made, her icon, I think, is the one that she actually drew herself. She goes into these different chats and says little things, and she's just that voice that, I throw a flower up from her for a sunflower, because she really is a sunflower. Brightens everything when she shows up.
Unless Loki's thrown her in the void.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lady Mist. I'm so sorry. Guys, that goes back to a whole nother level of holy shit. I was on my phone and I accidentally threw her into a void and timed her out. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And henceforth, she was known as the Guardian of the Void.
And I do that every time she does a skull now. If I'm near it, because I listen all the time, but I'm not always near something that I could type out. I'll say void skull, because it's the skull coming from the void.
Yes. Holy shit. Ramblings here.
Yeah, his ears must have been itching.
Yeah, your ears must have been burning, brother. Yes, we were talking about that Kirk and Spock moment over on PJ's channel. And that's going to happen again.
LARPA fight.
The LARPA fight will continue in season 2 of Picard. Back in the day of 200 subs, yeah. And we love it in the void. Yes. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the super chats that are all going to go to Adega's charity. I am going to give me just 1 second and let me pull up the super chats for today. That way you guys can get some skulls, because you guys deserve them.
I didn't expect more than 4 or 5 people here. Hopefully I didn't bore you. But you guys heard my spiritual makeup for the most part. Hopefully, because I know this to be true, that regardless of station, circumstance, or ideology, if we support each other, we'll make it through even the roughest of times.
It's true. We've got 3 super chats from Psychodwarf9, one for $2, $5, another for $5. The lines are made up. The points don't matter. I don't even remember what we were talking about at that point. He said, made of star stuff we are, resonate with the divine we do at our best. And Deka brought that up. He also said one of the scariest things is letting people in to see your best and your worst. Thank you so very much, Psychodwarf9, brother. And skull! If I can do it. almost impossible to get to. I was like, oh my God, click on it already. Mexican Iron Man with a $9.99 super chat. 2 great men, 2 great minds, 2 great souls, 1 great show. Awesome community. Hail Valhalla. Hail the great Adega, though he is an outlaw.
Nuke him.
Barry.
Nuke him just for the heck of it. Just nuke him.
Nuke him. It's on the way. Score! Oh, shit. Lady Mist with a $2 super chat, and we love Loki's Conan. Love it. And then another $5 super chat from Lady Mist. For Adega, you are awesome and so happy to know you. And you know what you're getting, Lady Mist. We know what you're getting. We all know. Score!
Yeah, she just wants to rub the paint off of that.
Oh my God. Bad Steven Seagal with the $2 Canadian super chat. You both, as your Valhalla, are kindred souls and love. Thank you so very much, my friend. And I can't wait to hang out with you and get into some mischief tonight. Score! Orville Nation with 2 $5 super chats. 2 of my favorite guys. One of my most memorable moments was Loki and Rambling Connect on my channel. And brother, just because of that, we've got 2 monsters going at it in this skull. Go Zero Skull! Thank you so very much. I've got to reload the page because so much has happened since I started this. Oh, shit. We have got a $2 Canadian super chat from that 70s rock fan. Excellent conversation, guys. Much love and respect. Thank you so very much, that 70s rock fan. And we'll go with the dollar bill score.
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
Thank you so very much.
I still like the guy in the background who's blinking his eyes wide open.
Darth Haster with a $1.49 super chat of a phallic horse. Phallic horse. I don't know if I can bring that up or not. I don't know if it's still there. It's a phallic horse. You'll just have to take my word for it. Score! And Mary's Game Room with a $9.99 super chat. Great charity, and you are truly an awesome person. Adega is absolutely the best. Thank you so very much, Mary. And score!
Spartans! What is your profession?
That's mine. Oh, I love that one.
Clobbering Times with a $2 super chat. Great streaming cause, sirs. Valhalla forever. Valhalla, brother. And score!
Skull.
Lady Mist with a $5 super chat. I have the paint remover ready. Thank you so very much, Lady Mist. And we'll do it again. Score! Martin Orlando with a 10-pound super chat. Brilliant stream. Thank you so very much. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Martin. You have a great one, man. And score! Dallas Celso Runo with a $2 super chat. You guys are the best. And this is the best skull we've got. The one, the only, the original skull.
A dollar? I've never seen a dollar. Nobody's got a dollar. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's a dollar bill.
And Purple Valkyrie with a 5-pound super chat. Thank you, Adega and Loki. This was a very special show. Love to you both and all in here in Valhalla. Thank you so very much, Purple, for being you.
Absolutely.
And score! And Mary's Game Room with another $4.99 super chat. Special needs children have a special place in my heart because of my nephews. Give me the dragon fire. Ask and thou shalt receive. Mary's go. And a $10 super chat from Eris of Chaos. Absolutely amazing stream, gentlemen. Even made me tear up a bit, but shh, don't tell anyone. I have your reputation to uphold. Thank you so much, Eris of Chaos, and I know what you want. Score! And Spike in Mischief with a $20 super chat. I'm honored to be here with all of you warriors of truth and valor.
We're honored.
I have one question. What is your profession? Score!
Yes!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Thank you guys so very much. This was an absolutely wonderful stream. And I got word that you, sir, have had a bigger audience presence on this stream than Graham Nolan did. The creator Bane, when he was on my show a couple weeks ago. So, people do want to hear from Adega Outlaw. Who is Adega Outlaw? That mysterious man.
The blushing begins.
That visits the halls of Valhalla. Thank you, sir, for being here today.
No, it's honor is not the right word. I'm sure those of you out there, each one of you that felt something, that's why we're here. It's not because of a name. It's not because of any insult to our community because of someone writing something or producing some show. It's because of that feeling that you have. And I'm honored to share that with all of you.
And we're honored to share it with you, brother. So thank you. And before this turns into a mush fest, we'll get out of here. Guys, have a great day. We'll be back in a little over 3 hours for some 7 Kinds of Mischief. And me and Adega will be back on Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you if you voted in Discord and said, yes, we want to see Adega, and hear about who Adega is, because she didn't think that anybody would give a shit, and I knew better. But once Loki was right.
Still blame Loki.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.